Welcome to another new episode of the Get Organised with Declutter Me podcast with myself, Shalina. I hope you're well wherever you are in the world. Today, I thought I'd talk about something I've been reflecting on quite a lot since I got back. Souvenirs. More specifically, the question of what we bring home from our holidays and whether we're bringing back souvenirs or sentiment. And how can that quietly turn into clutter if we're not careful? Now, let me be honest. I love a good souvenir shop. Always have. And Japan? Well, God, it's just full of beautifully designed products, gorgeous packaging, and irresistibly cute little bits and bobs. Everything from the stationery to the ceramics to the snacks. It's so well thought out and aesthetically pleasing. It's so easy to get caught up in the moment and start filling your suitcase with trinkets and trinkets. And yeah, I did indulge a little bit because how could I not? Like, I hadn't been for 19 years. I had to. But even as I was shopping, I had that little voice in my head, the organizer and decluttering voice, going, will you actually use this? Or is it just going to end up in a drawer in the back of the cupboard? You know, it was like, well, where are you going to put it? Oh, will it fit? Does it look good? It was that voice. It just served me so well over the years. And it's the one I share with my clients when we're doing our sessions. Because souvenirs for so many people end up in boxes, stacked on top of each other in the back of the wardrobe, gathering dust. Or they fill the shelves and surfaces until you can't remember where the item came from or why you even bought it. It becomes stuff, clutter. And that's not what it's meant to be. So while I was in Japan, I made a conscious effort to be more mindful. I asked myself the following questions. Do I really love this? Will I use it or display it in a meaningful way? Does it remind me of something specific and joyful from the trip? Because here's the thing, a souvenir should tell a story. It should bring back a moment, a feeling, a memory. If it doesn't, it's probably just stuff you bought because it was there. One of the most fascinating things I noticed while shopping in Japan was how beautifully everything is presented. Even the smallest snack, like the mochi, which I loved, was beautifully packaged up, or a piece of stationery was wrapped with care and intention. It made everything feel special, even 100 yen magnet. But that's also where it became tricky. The packaging is so nice, it's easy to think, oh, I must keep this. And before you know it, your suitcase and eventually your drawers at home are filled with beautifully packaged things you don't actually need. So I made a deal with myself. If I was going to buy something, it had to pass the use or love test. I ended up bringing home a vintage kimono sash from Tokyo to put on a chest of drawers. A kimono to use as a dressing gown, which I wore on the last episode. A set of chopsticks from Tokyo Disney that I've actually started using. And a beautifully designed notebook to use as a scrapbook for the tickets and memories from Japan. Full confession, I bought back a lot of food items, mostly mochi and desserts as I have a sweet tooth. I have no regrets, even if it took one half of a suitcase. And 2 of the mochi did go off because you have to eat it then the same day, which I forgot about. But everything I bought back had a purpose or a plan into my stomach. That's the key, planning. Even when you're on holiday, it's very easy to shop emotionally when you're traveling. You're in a different mindset, everything feels exciting, and it's easy to justify purchases with it's a once in a lifetime trip, or I'll never find this again. But if you pause for a moment and really think about what you're buying, you can avoid coming home back with a suitcase full of impulse buys. So here are some more tips to help you rethink souvenirs and travel clutter. First, buy fewer but buy better. Choose 1 or 2 items per destination that really speak to you. Go for quality or craftsmanship if you can. It will mean so much more and last longer. So that kimono sash that I talked about that I've now put on the chest of drawers, I saw it on one day and then by chance I was passing that shop the next day with a friend and I said to her, look, I saw this thing, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it. And she's from Japan and she said, show me what it is. So we went into this vintage store, I showed her the sash, and she said, "Oh, like we put it on chest of drawers, we put it on, furniture now because people have so many of them, but they don't know what to do with them." And I went, "I know where I'm going to put it." And that was it. I had a beautiful vintage sash that will last for a lifetime now. It's on my chest of drawers and it looks amazing. I went for quality and craftsmanship, and it actually wasn't that expensive. And I didn't buy it from a tourist trap kind of shop. I bought it from this vintage shop, and it's a beautiful piece. But I went for quality rather than the quantity. As I said, avoid the tourist traps. Airport shops, high street souvenir stores, tend to sell generic items. Look for the local makers, the markets, or the unique finds that represent the place. So in Tokyo, there's a shop near a very famous temple, and there's like a street full of all the souvenirs and stuff. I did buy a magnet from there because it was very cheap, but that was it. I didn't want to buy any more of the tap from there because it wasn't for me. I was like, what am I going to do with all this tat? It's not worth it. Next, take photos of the tempting things. So sometimes it's the look of the item that we love, not the thing itself. Snap a picture instead if you can, because some places don't allow it. And you'll still have that memory without the clutter. Limit your just in case purchases. So you don't need 12 keychains in case someone gets upset that they didn't get one. Be selective with the gifts too. Something thoughtful beats quantity. And do you have to buy gifts for people? Like, these things will not have meaning for them as much as it will for you because it was your trip. It wasn't their trip. So don't buy things just for the sake of buying a thing just because you went somewhere. Next, think multi-use. Can the item be functional? A tea towel, a bowl, a tote bag. These are things you can use every day and be reminded of your trip. Use your packaging intentionally. If the packaging is beautiful, maybe repurpose it instead of storing it as it is. Turn a box into a memory container or a drawer divider. I have this box I bought from Disney, and I saw it and loved it. And I was like, it's so cute. And it had chocolates inside it, which of course I'm still eating. But it's now on my desk so I can look at it and I can put bits and pieces inside this box that I bought. And I can always look at it and go, I got this at Disney Springs in Tokyo. And it's just makes me happy. Even now I'm smiling because I was like, I went there. This was great. But even when I was in the stores in Disney, I was thinking intentionally. I was thinking, do I need it? Is it a waste of time? Do I need to get those big fluffy keychains and put them on my bag like all the 20 somethings are doing it? Obviously not, because it will look silly on my back. But this thing on my desk will always be useful because I can put bits and pieces like post-it notes and stuff in there, or receipts that I don't want my cat to chew because he likes chewing paper. So it's useful for me. So think of that. Find things that you can get that are intentional. Next, think about scrapbook or journaling instead. So keep your stubs, your postcards, your maps in a small album or travel journal. These paper souvenirs take up less space and often have more meaning. So I bought these travel journals from Paper Chase. I bought 3 of them and I've been filling them up for every holiday I go on. I'm now on the second book. I was going to use it for the Japan trip, but then I bought a book in Japan from a market stall from a lovely guy. And so I'm going to use that and put all the stubs and everything in the maps and the receipts in there to remind me of my trip in Japan. Um, and they're just great. And like every so often, I'll open it up and look at it and go, oh, no, yeah, I went there. That was amazing. So it's a great way to do it. And it's great, especially if you're creative or arty, that you want to have this kind of scrapbook reminder of your beautiful holiday. Next, be honest when you return. If something already feels unnecessary the moment you unpack it, that's your sign. Rehome it, gift it, or recycle it. Don't let guilt trap you into having it in your space. One thing I always tell my client is the memory lives in your head and your heart, not in the object. You can remember a beautiful meal in Kobe without needing to keep the chopstick wrapper. You can think fondly of a moment in Kyoto without holding on to every receipt or bag. We need to separate the sentiment from the item sometimes. And if you're someone who's traveled a lot and now has boxes full of souvenirs and keepsakes, that's okay. You're not alone, but maybe this is the moment to go through them. Set aside some time, grab a tea or coffee, and put on some music and revisit your souvenirs. Which ones still make you smile? Which ones are a bit, why did I keep this? You don't have to keep it all. Choose what still feels right and let the rest go. That's what I always say. Decluttering is not about regret, it's about refining and realigning. So, 19 years ago, as I said, I went to Japan. I went for 3 days. I bought a little geisha from Kyoto. I didn't buy much in Japan when I was there on those 3 days. I mean, I bought this geisha. I've kept it next to. I have a Mary from Mexico, which my friend gave me as a present when I went to visit her in Mexico. So I have these two. They're my like guardian angels that I keep in my bedroom, and I've had them for so long. But I'm going to keep them because they make me so happy when I see them, and they remind me that I went to Kyoto, that I went to Mexico. So it's about having things that keep you happy and just bring back the flood of memories. So realign the souvenirs that you have and keep the ones that make you smile and make you go, that reminds me of that beautiful holiday. And don't forget, your future holidays can be less clutter heavy. You can start a new tradition for yourself. Maybe it's one item per trip, or maybe it's a digital memory folder with photos, notes, and favorite meals, or a memory jar where you jot down a special moment from each trip. There are so many lovely ways to remember an experience without filling your home. If you've got children, this is also a great opportunity to teach them about mindful collecting. Maybe give them a travel box or allow them to choose one keepsake from each destination. It becomes more special that way, and it also sets up good habits for life. So whether you're planning your next holiday or just back from one, take a moment to look at what you've brought back. What truly speaks to you? What might already be turning into clutter? And what can you do next time to make your memories even more meaningful without filling every drawer and shelf? Let me know if this resonates with you. Have you brought back something home that you later regretted? Or do you have a travel memento that genuinely brings you joy? Message me, leave a comment, or visit declutterme.com. I always love hearing your stories. Thank you so much for listening and for joining me on this Japan-inspired journey over the last few episodes. I've got one more to share with you next week, but until then, bring back the memories and not the best and stay beautifully organized. Take care. Bye.